Have you ever had a dream that you were crossing over a bridge or driving through a long, dark tunnel or maybe hiding in a cave? We're going to talk about what bridges, tunnels, and caves mean in dreams. Bridges in dreams represent connections or links. They get us from one place to another. So if someone dreams that they're crossing a bridge, that represents that transition and change is coming in their life. Also, Jesus can represent a bridge in a dream. Jesus is our link to God the Father. In John 14:6, Jesus said that he was the way to God the Father. So Jesus can represent a bridge in a dream, but largely bridges in dreams tend to represent connections or links where God is moving us from one phase of our life into the next phase. Now, you can have different types of bridges in dreams. For instance, if you dream that you're walking across a very narrow bridge, this could represent a transition that will be difficult. It won't be very easy to move from one area in your life to the next. And so if you dream that you're crossing a narrow bridge, it would just speak of it taking faith, or you would have to use more faith in order to make that particular transition in your life. Also, if you dream that you're crossing a narrow bridge, it could represent that God is keeping you on a very narrow path for your life's purpose, that it's very important that you do not deviate from the path that God has you on. So a narrow bridge could represent that as well. Wide bridges. If you dream that you're walking across a very wide bridge, that of course would represent the opposite of a narrow bridge. That means your transition or your change would be easy and very smooth. Walking across a bridge. If you dream that you're walking across a bridge as opposed to driving across a bridge, that would just tend to represent a life transition that you will be experiencing or are experiencing. If you're driving your car across the bridge, however, that could represent ministry changes or transition in the thing that God has called you to do, since cars tend to represent ministry or your life's purpose. So that would simply represent a change that's coming in the things that God has called you to do, a change or transition in your ministry. If you dream that you're crossing the Golden Gate Bridge, that's a great dream. The Golden Gate Bridge out in California, that would represent transitioning or entering into a place of experiencing the glory of God. So that would be a great dream. Tunnels. If you dream that you're driving through or moving through a tunnel, it would represent the same thing, pretty similar to crossing a bridge. Tunnels also represent transition or a time of transitioning. You're moving from one area in your life into the next. If you dream that you're passing through a dark tunnel, for instance, that could also represent that you're experiencing a very dark time in your life. You're experiencing uncertainty, not quite sure about where you're going or where God is leading you. If you have a dream that you see a light at the end of the tunnel, that is fantastic. That means you're moving in the direction that God has set before you, and you're moving towards God himself. And so tunnel dreams, though, tend to represent that, not quite sure of where you're going in life, just feelings of uncertainty. A cave. If you dream that you're in a cave tends to represent a hidden place, hiding. It could also represent a place of shelter or a place of refuge. Just depends on what's going on in the dream and also how you feel in the dream, because caves can also convey feelings of loneliness or being alone. So if you dream that you're in a cave and you feel all alone, that could just be speaking of how you feel in your natural life. Perhaps you feel lonely, or you feel that you don't have support from others in your life. Well, I hope you enjoyed this talk on what bridges, tunnels, and caves mean in dreams. If you have any questions about dreams or any comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss any new videos. I'll talk to you next time.